Hello and welcome to Rathods IAS Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see current affairs of 20th December 2025. Before getting started, let us see the important topics of the day. The first topic it is about 97 lakh voters deleted in Tamil Nadu, 74 lakhs in Gujarat. So this article is talking about SIR, Special Intense Revision. And even in our yesterday's class also we discussed one article that Kerala government gave petitions in Supreme Court regarding this deletions of large number of voter in their state. And Supreme Court gave guidelines to EC. That means we have to take in account ground realities. Based on that, we have to extend the timelines for the state. That is yesterday's article. And today's article says that around 97 lakh voters they were deleted in Tamil Nadu and 74 lakh voters deleted in Gujarat. And this topic is very important from your GS paper to under polity. This year, for sure, you can expect a question regarding this special intense revision. Next topic it is about riots rock Bangladesh as leader of uprising dies. 2 newspaper officers tortured. So this article is talking about again there is eruption of riots in Bangladesh. So here you have to see what are the reasons behind this eruption and how these eruptions are going to impact India. This topic is important from GS paper to under international relations. Every year in UPSC prelims there is a chance of getting map based question. In that map based question they'll give you country and they may ask you which of the following countries are sharing boundary with that so and so country. If you see PYQs, whenever this Russia-Ukraine war started, there was a question regarding Ukraine. And after this Taliban taken over this Afghanistan, the question is about Afghanistan was in news. And from past around 8 months onwards, this Bangladesh is seen highly in news. And you know, the earlier Prime Minister ousted from this Bangladesh and she is taking refuge in our country. So here you may get this year question regarding this Bangladesh map. Which of the following states of India shares boundary with Bangladesh? Or else they may give question regarding the rivers which are flowing in India and as well as Bangladesh. And even we have this mangroves called as Sundarbans, which is present in this India and as well as Bangladesh. So related that also you may get question and you have to be very much careful regarding this Bangladesh this year related with the map. And this topic is important from GS paper to international relations. And next topic is child trafficking, a deeply disturbing reality, says Supreme Court. So here you have to know what is this child trafficking and what are the articles which are present in our constitution which protects this child from this trafficking. And even you have to see the laws against child trafficking in India. So you may get directly articles and law-based questions regarding this child trafficking in your prelims. And this topic is important from polity from GS paper 2. Our next topic is corporates have fundamental duty to protect the ecosystem, asserts Supreme Court. So Supreme Court is saying that corporates, that is nothing but private companies, they are having a fundamental duty to protect ecosystem. So here this topic is talking about one important concept called as CSR, corporate social responsibility. Already in UPSC prelims 2024, there was a question regarding this CSR. That means you may expect once again the question regarding the CSR in future. And this topic is important from polity from GS paper 2. And next topic is the significance of a strong defense industrial base. This article is saying that India needs to have a strong defense industrial base. And this topic is important from security from GS paper 3. Apart from this article in your editorial, today is Saturday, there is no opinion page and as well as text and context. But in your editorial page, there will be normally 4 articles. So in that 4 articles, one article it is about the Congress party in Telangana. Recently, you know, panchayat elections had been done in this Telangana state. In that majority of this sarpanch who won, they are from this Congress party. So that is the one article which came, but it is not that much relevant from our UPSC point of view because it is related to state. So if you are preparing for your TSPSC, you have to see that kind of articles. That is the one article. And next, one more editorial, it is about SIR. Already we are discussing that, so I didn't took that for our discussion. And apart from that, there is one article regarding only Kerala state. So here I also skipped that article. So only from UPSC point of view, from central government point of view, if there are any articles that will be important from your UPSC. Don't go only related to the state-wise articles, guys. Okay, now let us see the first article. Look at the title. 97 lakh voters deleted in Tamil Nadu, 76 lakh in Gujarat. Okay, now let us see the context. We are doing this special intensive revision, and you know what is a special intense revision. So in this special intense revision now, it is conducted by Election Commission of India. Final in the state of Tamil Nadu and Gujarat, lots of people they lost their voter IDs. Okay. So if you see about what is this SIR, it is a targeted revision of Indian electoral rules. We are going for house to house verification, and we are going to check their documents, and we are going to know like whether they are staying in that place or not, whether they are moving outside of that place or whether they have settled outside, and we are going to remove this ghost voters. That means the people who have died, and even we are going to correct duplication of this voter list. All these things we'll do clearly through house to house verification. It is a part of SIR. In this phase 1 of SIR enumeration, which had been ended in the mid December 2025, and finally the draft rules had been released by the state of Tamil Nadu and Gujarat, they are going to remove major many lakhs of voters in that voter list. So what are the primary reasons which are mainly said? The first one is deceased voters. That means nothing but the people who are died. The ghost voters, we are removing them. And this one is shifted or absent voters. Especially there are many a times we can see migrants and relocated individuals. Those who are not found during visits, we are removing them. Especially urban migration to Chennai, and even in Gujarat also certain industrial areas they are shifting. So we are removing those shifted or absent voters. And this one is multiple enrollments. Normally we have duplication. Even if I want to tell my case, I have two voter in two areas I have my name in the voter list. So if SAR will be doing means one in one area, I'll be losing uh, my name in that voter list. So like that, many a times we have multiple enrollments. So here we are going for removal of that duplication. And next one here is voters who do not submit their forms, who were not at home during this enumeration also, we are removing their names. And one more thing here is, if who are there in that location, or if they are residents of that area, if they are losing their voter ID, means what happens, it will lead to de-enfranchisement. So for that, what government is doing is government is opening the window, and government is accepting the request of the people if they are submitting proper documents, everything before certain timeline, that is around January 31st, I guess. So by that time, if who are the real residents, if they are missing in this SIR, if they are missing their name in the voter ID, they can go and they can apply with the proper documents by the end of this January 31st, so that their names will be added later on. So this is about this article, guys. And what is the impact of this kind of SIR? Why we have to do this SIR? First important point that you have to remember is it will improve accuracy. It will reduce bogus voting and as well as duplication and as well as inflation. Everything we are going to remove that. And this one is we are also going for voter re-inclusion if they are really who are the residents of that area. So they are going to give the fixed period so that what happens, they can go and they can file their names. And this one here is in the long term, it will helpful for cleaning of rolls so that we can enhance democratic trust. Okay, and what are the negative impacts? If who are really eligible, if they are losing their name in this voter list, that will lead to this de-enfranchisement. That is a one important risk. And next one here is sometimes it will erode trust on this ECI. And next one here is it will also lead to the disproportionate impact on this marginalized group, that will further lead to increasing of inequalities, which happened in the same case of Bihar. And sometimes it will lead to this political issues also. So these are the positives and as well as negatives of this SIR. So on this topic, you can get prelims and as well as mains based question. You have to be ready. Okay, now let us see the next article. Let's look at the title. Riots rock. Bangladesh as leader of uprising dies. Two newspaper officers tortured. So if you want to know about this article, what is in news now, if you want to know the present context, you have to go back and you have to see the history. So history goes back to 1971 war. So in this 1971 war, so recently there is one current affairs regarding this 1975 war, and you can get a question, but I missed that. That topic came in PIB, not in Hindu. I'll tell what is that. So here, if you go back to 1971, in 1971, India-Pakistan war happened. So in that India-Pakistan war, Bangladesh got freedom from this Pakistan. Okay, Bangladesh emerged. Okay, at that time, what happened? India showed lots of courage. Within 13 days, we completed that war. Because of this, every year on December 16th, we celebrate Vijay Divas to commemorate this victory of India over Pakistan. So, in our parliament, we have an art gallery. So, in that gallery, we have photographs of Britishers, especially Governor Generals and as well as Viceroys who came to India, who ruled India. Their images, their photographs were there in this art gallery of parliament. So, we removed those all photos now. And in the place of that Britishers' photos, we installed 21 photos of this uh, great our soldiers who fought in this 1971 war. That is called as Param Veer Dirgha. Okay, please make a note. Param Veer Dirgha. Param Veer Dirgha. Param Veer Dirgha. Hyphen and write down. In gallery of Rashtrapati Bhavan. In gallery of Rashtrapati Bhavan, we replaced British Governor General's photos. British Governor General photos with our soldier photos, with our 21 soldier photos, 21 soldier photos who participated in 1971 war. Who participated in 1971 war. It is not parliament, it is Rashtrapati Bhavan. Okay, you may get this question, guys. What is this Paramveer Dirgha? Because it is one historical change that we made in our country. Okay, so if you come back to this article, in 1971 war, who are the Bangladesh who participated? They are going to get reservation in this education as well as jobs. So now the present generation, Gen Z, they started protesting against government to remove that reservation. And finally, they also fought against the prime minister, and even they attacked important buildings of Bangladesh government, everything. And because of this fear, former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, she ousted. She came out of this Bangladesh and she started staying in our country. India is providing protection for this Sheikh Hasina now. So now what happened? Whoever the person who led this kind of activities against this Sheikh Hasina, that leader was shot on December around 12th, I guess. Finally, he died. He died now. And his dead body is coming from Singapore with utmost security. So because of this, the people who are supporting this person, they started this kind of protest again in this Bangladesh. And they attacked two newspaper offices because these two newspaper offices, they are in favor of Sheikh Hasina. So that protesters now started attacking this newspaper, and again, once again, the riot started in this Bangladesh. So because of this is in news, guys. Okay. So now let us see this article. Bangladesh triggered by the death of Sharif Osman Hadi, a key figure in 2024 student-led uprising that led to ouster of this Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. And his death on December 18th led to riots, including torturing of two major newspapers. Please make a note of these newspapers. Sometimes you may get a question. Because India is pro to Sheikh Hasina, and these two newspapers are again pro to Sheikh Hasina. That means they are also pro to India. Okay, please make a note of that two newspapers. Protham Alo, the Daily Star. Protham Alo and Daily Star. You may get question like this. Recently, Protham Alo and the Daily Star newspapers are seen in news. They are belonging to which country? Okay, they may give Myanmar, Cambodia, India, like that. It belongs to Bangladesh. Okay. And if you see the details here, Sharif Osman Hadi, a 32 years old prominent leader in 2024 uprising that ousted Sheikh Hasina, died on this December 18 in Singapore after being shot in Dhaka on December 12th. On December 12th, he was shot in this Dhaka itself, and later on he shifted to Singapore for treatment, and in Singapore he died. And now his body arrived in Dhaka on December 19th evening with a tight security, and the protest erupted immediately and they turned into violent overnight. And these mobs, they tortured and vandalized offices of major newspapers, that is Protham Alo and the Daily Star in Dhaka. And journalists were also trapped inside for hours. And not only that, newspapers were targeted, even other targets were Awami League offices, Sheikh Muzaffar Rahman's historical residence, and some culture sites, etc. And this mob, they are demanding for justice for Hadi and impartial investigation and punishment for killers, etc. Guys. And even they also led anti-India sentiments as well. That means this kind of protest in Bangladesh will also impact India. So because of this, this article is important now. And if you say the impacts of this kind of events, first one is that will leads to severe blow to press freedom. And not only that, it will also leads to instability. And as well as it will also strain our India-Bangladesh relations. And even certain minority people, they are at threat now. They are vulnerable. And even Yunus also condemned this violence. And also Yunus is also asking for the calm, and he also saying that we have to deploy army, and he also calling for transparent probe, etc. So this is the thing which is going on, and this is the impact, guys. Yeah, actually the issue here is why he was shot, because he wants to contest in the elections, coming elections in Bangladesh, that is in the month of February next year, February 2026. They are going to have elections. So in that elections, he is doing certain things, and he was shot at. That is a major reason actually. Okay, see here, next article. Child trafficking, a deeply disturbing reality, says Supreme Court. So your child trafficking is very important. And you may get mains and as well as prelims based question from this area. So now let us see what exactly Supreme Court is saying, what kind of guidelines Supreme Court gave here. So if you see the context, it says that the Supreme Court of India's recent judgment highlighted child trafficking and commercial sexual exploitation as a deeply disturbing reality in the country. The Supreme Court itself said that child trafficking and commercial sex exploitation leads to a deep disturb in our society itself. So they are saying that we have to handle this kind of issues with a sensitive manner. And here, if you see about this facts regarding this child trafficking in India, as per 2021 NCRB, that is National Crimes Record Bureau report, it says that 2,877 children were trafficked in India. Approximately in a day, around 8 children are getting trafficked. You can understand this grave problem. In one day, around 8 children are getting trafficked. Okay, if you see about the laws in our country, have to make a note of this laws. We have Immoral Traffic Prevention Act of 1986. So this act, it is focusing on prevention of child trafficking in India, and as well as human trafficking also. And this one is we have Criminal Law Amendment Act of 2013. And this also provides comprehensive measures to counter menace of human trafficking. It is the second important law. And this one is we have POCSO Act of 2012, which is a special law to protect children from sexual abuse and sexual violence, sexual exploitation. So these are the three important acts which are present in our country, which is focusing on child trafficking. And if you see about what are the causes, why, even though we are having fundamental rights, even though we are having law, still today, we are in 2025, even in this 2025, 2026 also, this child trafficking is happening. What is the reason here is? First one is poverty, and next one is lack of education, and next one here is there is no proper financial support for the family. Because of that, child trafficking is rampant in India. And next one here is if you want to run any industry, we need labor. But actually nowadays there is increased demand for the labor, and laborer they are asking for higher salaries. So because of this, if they are going for this child trafficking, they can employ them as a bonded labor so that they can reduce their expenses on this labor. That is the next important reason. And next one here is the demand for trafficking from low income to high income areas is feared by economic disparities. So between the nations also we have economic disparities. For example, if you see about different types of countries, we have developed countries, developing countries, and least developed countries. So what is happening here is trafficking of human and children is happening from this least developed countries to developed countries because of this economic disparities. And next one here is because of illiteracy, which prevents children, especially girls, from knowing their rights. So children, they are not knowing their rights. They are not having proper awareness because of illiteracy. Because of that, they are not fighting back. And next one here is in some areas, there is no proper education opportunities. Because of that, what happens? These regions are targeted by these exploiters or traffickers, and they are trafficking these children from these areas. And next one here is there is expansion of commercial sex industry in the country. So because of this also, girl child trafficking is happening rampant in India. And even the last but not least, that is lack of political will. If anything wants to be done in India, we need to have a strong support from these political leaders. But political leaders, you know about criminalization of Indian politics. Law breakers are becoming these lawmakers. So because of this, what is happening here? There is lack of political will. Because of that, we are not able to bring any change in our society related to this kind of trafficking, guys. Okay, now let us see the next article. See the title. Corporates have fundamental duty to protect the ecosystem, asserts Supreme Court. This year for sure you may get question regarding this corporate social responsibility. Why? Because Supreme Court expanded the definition of this CSR. If you are having this kind of articles in news, for sure you may get a prelims based question from this area. Okay, now let us see the context. Supreme Court in a landmark judgment asserted that corporations, they have a fundamental duty under our constitution to protect our ecosystem and environment. And they said that corporate social responsibility should include environmental and ecological responsibilities. It is the responsibility of these corporates under our constitution itself. It is a fundamental duty. So here, if this kind of statements which are made by directly Supreme Court, for sure you will be getting a question. Okay, it is important from mains and as well as prelims point of view, guys. Now, if you see the details, the name of that Supreme Court judgment is M.K. Ranjit Singh versus Union of India. In this M.K. Ranjit Singh versus Union of India 2025 case, they are saying that corporates has to protect this great Indian bustard. Do you know this bird? Can you see here in this image? Great Indian bustard. This image in this image you can see this bird, Great Indian bustard. So if you see the specialty of this bird, it is a very large bird with that can fly. Normally, if you see the largest bird in this on this earth is called as ostrich, which is flightless. But this is the largest flying bird, and which is seen in this India as well as Pakistan, especially India and Pakistan border. We can see this bird. And what is the problem which is faced by this bird is the number is decreasing drastically in India. The major reason for this death of this bird is power lines. Okay, you know this electricity lines, we can see power lines, they will go and they will go and they will hit with that. So what happens? They will be getting electric shock and they will die. And one more important bird species which is in use is vultures. 99.99% of this vulture population had been reduced because of drug, diclofenac. But this bird population is decreasing because of electric lines. That means you may get a match the following based question. On one side, they'll give you the bird's name and they will be asking on one other side, like what are the causes for this declining in its number. So there are three important bird species you can see in the recent news. Now you know about this great Indian bustard. Recently we discussed about vulture. Assam is the first state to come up with this vulture conservation portal. And recently we discussed about this penguins. Do you know? 60,000 penguins were died. So is there any chance of getting question on one side birds and one side reasons? And the reasons of these three birds is different. Vulture diclofenac and this great Indian bustard electric shock, electric lines, and penguins causes mining. Can you recall all those things? So like that, if you are getting this kind of same species, that means birds related or any trees related or any plants related, like that, of course, you may get a question regarding that in your prelims. You have to be like very sharp. Okay, now let us see this. Okay, if you see the details of this article, it is saying that in this famous case, they are saying that it is the responsibility of these corporates to protect this animal, so this to protect this bird, especially from this power transmission transition lines in this Rajasthan and Gujarat. So now a 3-judge bench led by our CJI modified order which is given in 2021. In 2021, Supreme Court itself made a blanket ban on power lines. To protect this bird species, they said that we have to go for keeping of these power lines underground so that we can protect this bird species in the state of Rajasthan and Gujarat. But now this 2025 judgment modified this 2021 order, and they said that we cannot go for blanket ban of this removal of these power lines. Only in priority areas in potential habitats of this bird, we have to go for underground equipment of this power lines. That is the thing which mainly said here. And the court also said that wildlife conservation is important. On another side, renewable energy goals are also very important. If you are going for blanket ban on this, we cannot conserve our environment. That is the thing we mainly need to think here. We need to always have a balance between our wildlife and as well as our renewable energy goals. And next one here is the court said that corporations are the legal persons and the key organs of society, and especially under this article 51A which talks about fundamental duties, it says that yes, we have to protect and improve the natural environment like forests, lakes, rivers and wildlife. And now corporations, they have to follow this article 51G because it is a fundamental duty. It is a duty of every citizen. And next they said that Supreme Court expanded this CSR. CSR full form is corporate social responsibility. And now Supreme Court said that we have to mandatorily include environment responsibility. It is not just a social welfare. We have to focus on ecosystem protection under this CSR definition, guys. So if you see about this CSR definition and certain facts regarding the CSR full form is corporate social responsibility. It is a business model where companies, they have to come voluntarily and they have to spend certain amount of money for the social, environmental and as well as ethical considerations in our country. And the important aim of this CSR, it is to focus on sustainable development, community welfare and as well as ethical practices. And this CSR had been implemented under one act. Please make a note, that is Companies Act of 2013. So Companies Act of 2013 came up with this CSR, and under that we have one provision section, that is section 135. Under the section 135, it says that the companies which are having the net worth of more than 5 billion and turnover of around 10 billion and net profit if they are getting more than 50 million, and from that amount, from that profit, they have to spend 2% on this CSR. Okay, on this CSR activities. So this is about your CSR. And now let us see the next article. Title says the significance of strong defense industrial base. As you all know that we are sharing boundary with different countries. From almost all the countries we are having threat. You know about Pakistan, you know about China, now what is happening in Bangladesh, and from Myanmar, drug trafficking, human trafficking is happening, right? So we are having lots of issues regarding our security. And if you see our defense, now we are focusing on Atmanirbhar Bharat in defense. That is nothing but we want to produce our own equipment in our country. That is called as Atmanirbhar Bharat, right? But before, we used to depend on other countries like Russia, US, France, Israel, etc. to get our imports of our defense. So this article is saying that in yesterday's class, we discussed about Dhruv 64, right? Which is India's own made microprocessor. And before that, we have one chip which is made indigenous, that is Majorana chip. And we're also going to get this Dhanush and Dhanush Plus chips later on, but it had not been done completely. So because of this article is saying that yes, we are becoming self-sufficient. And this article is saying that if you are having our own defense equipment production in our country, we are going to have lots of advantages. That advantages are said in this article, guys. That is about your significance, why we need this strong defense industrial base in our country. So what is strong industrial base? Strong industrial base is nothing but it is our nation's ecosystem. We need to have proper manufacturing, researching, supplying of military equipment, weapons, subsystem and services. All these need to be there. Then only we can call our country is having like a strong defense industrial base. Industrial base includes research, production, supplying weapons, everything. Okay, it includes both public sector and as well as private sector companies, startups, and even supply chains, academic institutions. All these things need to be developed together. Okay, so why we need this strong defense equipment? Obviously, it will improve our national security. And next one here is we can promote our strategic autonomy. One more important thing that you have to remember is if you're depending on any other country, the technology that we'll get is not advanced technology. What is a technology which is outdated there, they will export that. So that means technology wise also will be not that much good. And next one here is if there is any problem in that country, will they provide that equipment on time? For example, Russia-Ukraine conflict, you know about this S-400 Triumph missiles. We used to get it by this 2024 itself, but we are in 2025 end. But even though we didn't got those on time. And next one here is it will also helpful for improving of our economic growth, and even it will improve our technological innovation, and even it will provides our geopolitical leverage, and even it will be ensures our resilience in the warfare. If suddenly something happened to that equipment, what we have to do, we can now go for repairing in our country. But for example, if we are getting any equipment from Russia, we are in war, but that equipment failed means we have to get these Russian people to make that correct. If the spare parts are not available in India, again we have to take that entire equipment to Russia. So in that warlike situations, is that possible? No. So here in the war time, if you want to be ready always, we need to have this kind of industrial base in India. And what is the impact? We will be having strategic impacts. We can have strong deterrence. We can improve our war fighting capabilities, and we can also support our alliances and as well as global operations. And we can generate employment, and we can boost our MSME sector, and even we can improve our R&D in our country, and we can promote STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in this defense. And we can also reduce unemployment. Okay, we can also enhance our international influence, and now we can also export our defense equipments for other countries also. Okay, so those are the things that you have to remember, guys. So see the prelims questions, guys. Read out it carefully and try to apply the techniques which we discussed in our classes. First one, consider the following statements regarding constitutional provisions and laws related to child trafficking in India. The first question is about child trafficking. First statement is Article 23 of Indian Constitution prohibits traffic in human beings and forced labor, which directly applies to the cases of child trafficking. Fundamental rights again. Rights against exploitation. Second one, the Protection of Children from Sexual Offence Act, POCSO 2012, and Immoral Traffic Prevention Act 1956 are primary legislations used to address child trafficking for sexual exploitation. Have you wrote that or not? Next one, the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act 2015 excludes provisions for rehabilitation and reintegration of trafficked children. Yes or no? Yes or no? Come on, think. So 2 is for sure right. Yes or no? Huh? 1956, sir. Oh no, it is 1956 only. Please check once. 1 minute, I'll see. Which article is it? Third article. Shh. 1956. Check this. 1956 is it. Okay. Next, see other articles. Sure. Other statements. Where am I? Something happened to it. Arre. Okay. See this. First article. Sorry. First, see the statement. Article 23-24 talks about rights against exploitation. So first statement is right and second statement is right. So even juvenile justice, it is focusing on rehabilitation, reintegration of trafficked children. So juvenile justice, do you know this juvenile justice boards? Already we discussed about that article earlier, I guess. Juvenile justice boards are not functioning properly. Like that, we have an article. 3 months mundu. Okay, so actually this juvenile justice is also focusing on children. So juvenile means nothing but the children, whoever they did the crimes. So they will be punished under this juvenile justice boards like that. So it is related to children only. So here it is not excluding these children. So third statement is wrong and answer will be like 1 and 2. Okay, see this next. So see this next question guys. Consider the following statements regarding CSR in India. And after this class, see 2024 question of CSR. 2024 only the question on the CSR came. First one, Companies Act 2013 allows companies to set up CSR committee only if their CSR obligation exceeds rupees 50 lakhs annually. And next one is the Schedule 7 of this act includes contributions to Prime Minister's National Relief Fund as an eligible CSR activity. Next one is in December 2025 Supreme Court ruling concerning the Great Indian Bustard. The court directed power companies to allocate CSR funds specifically for biodiversity conservation projects. 3 is right. What about 1 and 2? Options are 1, 2. You have to eliminate one option. 2 and 3. So here there is only, it is not only 50 lakhs. So that I gave you the numbers. UPSC has tendency to change the numbers. Many a times we discussed it, right? So they changed the number and they kept here only. Okay, so here 2 and 3 statements are right. Okay, so in this way you have to practice and see this next question. With reference to physical and political geography of Bangladesh, consider the following statements. Bangladesh shares its land borders with India on 3 sides. West, north and east, and short border with Myanmar in southeast. Recall the map, how this shape of this Bangladesh will be. Yes or no? Okay, second statement, 3 major rivers, Padma, Ganges, Jamuna, Brahmaputra and Meghna converge to form the world's largest delta, which empties into Bay of Bengal. Yes or no? The Sundarbans, the world's largest mangrove forest, is located entirely within northern hilly region of Bangladesh, while Cox's Bazar, the longest natural sea beach, is in northwest. Extreme statement కాదా ఒకసారి క్లియర్ గా చూడండి. Come on, see whether it is extreme or not. Entirely unna. See here, entirely is the word they used. So the Sundarban is present not entirely in Bangladesh. It is a part of both India and Bangladesh, no? So like that, you have to identify that kind of extreme words, extreme statements. So here this is for sure wrong. So what is the option? A, 1 and 2 only. Like that, you have to read the statements clearly. That's all guys. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much. And today is Saturday, and as I said, every Saturday there will be Zoom session with me, and if you want to talk to me directly and if you have any doubts to clarify, you can join this Zoom meet. So if you want to join that, you have to do the registration link is given in description box, and after once registration is done, you will be getting a Zoom link to your WhatsApp number by 6:30 p.m. guys. So try to register as soon as possible. And thank you so much guys. If you like this class, please do hit the like button and please do share this class to your friends. And do subscribe to Rathods IAS Academy. Don't forget.